And we're off. It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Day Standard Time. If I ever say daylight time, I was telling the people who are listening on the audio feed, then I'm wrong. It's Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes it's Pacific Daylight Time, most of the time, actually. Here in Los Angeles, Thursday, December 15th, 2022 AD. I'm barely getting used to saying 2022, and pretty soon, if we make it, I'll be saying 2023. Gonna have a fun, should we have a loosey-goosey Thursday show for you guys? Gonna talk about the lovely ladies. Don't we love the lovely ladies? And I perhaps may be using the term lovely and ladies loosely, but still, we love them. If we love anyway. Jesus said love, right? And so do the Christian leaders who wrote in the Bible. So the Bible says it, God said it, that settles it, I believe it. Something like that. I'm butchering the word. I have some pictures of space, which is real. I'm asking if it's real, maybe. Very cool. Perversion is an identity, according to these lovely ladies. Or should I say nutty ladies, nutty women. It's sick. I saw that floating around, a Congress female saying that on Twitter. Well, she said it in the government. She was, some tweets were sharing clips of her woman logic. What a shame. There's this based feminist that I'm going to talk about over in Norway who's facing jail. And I'm using the term based loosely, okay? All right? I understand Hake's humor. My version of humor, anyway. She says that a man cannot be a lesbian. Oh, yes, we need to recruit these based lesbians and gays and join in our hatred of the transgenders. What a mess. I'm kidding. We don't hate here on the Hake Report. Hake Report, not hate report. We report hate. Anyway, all that and your calls, guys, if you would like to call in. What else? But anyway, let's get right on with the show.
Have you been naughty or nice?
Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
It's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. It's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I love women. I love women so much I'm wearing a depiction of a woman, I think, on my t-shirt. Shout out to Wovenhand. It's a Christian band by that guy whose name I'm blanking on his name. But he's also from the band 16 Horsepower. 16 Horsepower. Excellent band. Check out Sackcloth and Ashes. Great album. Their debut. Kind of mainstream, that album, label, the label that put out that album. Anyway, Wovenhand. It's a band t-shirt. Hake and his band t-shirts. How long have I had this? Wovenhand, all one word. David, I'm blanking on his name. But anyway, I'll tell you later. We'll play 16 Horsepower in the new year, perhaps, if I make it. And if the Hake Report makes it. Anyway, I will get to your calls, guys. But first, let us show another beautiful depiction of another lovely lady. Because we do love women. We cherish them anyway. This is clip 11. Let's dive right into clip 11. No words in clip 11 that I can tell. Just silence and then the attack or applause. This is from Breaking 911, sharing a C-SPAN video. House Speaker nervous Nancy Pelosi unveils her portrait at the U.S. Capitol building, which was under attack from the Trump supporter terrorists, insurrectionists. Watch this. It's about 40 seconds or so, maybe. I'm not sure. Listen to this. Or watch, if you can. There it is. It's a curtain in front of it. Well lit. And she draws the curtain. And everybody's taking cell phone video of it. Clapping. Nervous Nancy with her husband. Her husband has a hat and a glove. There's a picture of her. Speaker of the House with her gavel hammer thing. That's a big old hammer. Isn't that nice? Look at that. And then Shifty Adam Schiff. My favorite former representative, because I used to live in the Pasadena area, which he used to represent. Pasadena, where you at? Says Tupac, or said Tupac. So proud, tweeted Representative Shifty Adam Schiff. Real Donald Trump called NJLP, which I disavow this language, called him something else other than what called him out his name, outside of his name. That's a black way of saying called him a name called him. But I mean, that's what his name kind of looks like, or it sounds like, and what his name is Mud. Shifty Adam Schiff tweeted this, and I have this picture. So proud to be present for the moment of the unveiling of the portrait of the greatest Speaker of the House that ever was. That's what he tweeted December 14th, yesterday afternoon, or evening, I guess it would have been for him. Shifty Schiff. Always trust Shifty Schiff to be shifty and kissing up to the females, and not the nice, well, not the good females. Are there any good females? Not the best of the females, but the sick ones. Zoom in that picture of nervous Nancy and her husband. There's her husband. I never had known, heard, nor seen of her husband before this year, really, when he got picked up for alleged DUI, which we're not going to get into that, and the other, the house attack, home invasion attack things, alleged mess that went on with that. And I'm not going to get into speculation about that, because that's a bunch of, I don't think that we'll ever get the truth about what really went down. Nor is it responsible for us to speculate about it. It's not really our business, I guess. Or, I don't know, maybe it is. But anyway, we're not going to know. You're not going to get the truth. Nervous Nancy Pelosi, 80-something years old, retiring. She's not going to run for re-election, I guess. She was Speaker of the House under Obama, and again under Trump. And she's a fake Christian. She's a Catholic that supports abortion and hating white people. She doesn't call it hate, but it is. It's what it is. And hating Christians. So a sick person, a female, a Democrat, trying to be a leader. And because the men are so weak, she ran roughshod all over them. I remember hearing a story of shared by a wise man, whom I used to listen to on the radio, saying one time, according to him, she kissed John Boehner. Anybody remember John Boehner? He's the crying smoker. I think he was Speaker of the House, a Republican, Rhino Republican from somewhere. His name looks like it should be pronounced something other than Boehner, okay? Boehner, something to that effect. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to sound out how it seems like it ought to be pronounced. But, sorry, kids. And parents, I should say, maybe. But she kissed him on the cheek, and then she had him wrapped around her finger, her little finger, meaning she controlled him. Controlled by a kiss. These women are controlling these men. JLP has made similar statements about how he imagines the Supreme Court to be functioning. That the weak males cannot handle the woman's evil, the spirit of the woman. These women justices, so-called justices, and they can't handle it. Except for the one true justice, Clarence Thomas. And, Scalia may have been a solid guy. Scalia's dead. He's the one, I think he was an okay guy. Although he was Italian. We love the Italians. And there's another person who may be pretty good, too. Antonin Scalia, and there's another guy who's living. But anyway. Found with a pillow over his head. Which doesn't sound right. But anyway, people think he was killed. We don't know. We're not going to get the real story. If there is, a story is different. DJ on Pa talking about my joke about Steve Boehner. I mean, whatever his name is, Boehner. John Boehner. He cries. He cries on TV. I'm shaking my head. Some people just don't know better. Like our based Canadian professor, Jordan B. Peterson, whom we also are huge fans of. We like him. For as far as he's right, So, nervous Nancy Pelosi. Kind of the mama of the house, the speaker, the mouth of the house. It's like the demon rats, the Democrats are the women, or the mothers. I almost said bless you, but that wasn't a sneeze. You don't bless somebody if they just cough. And then the Republicans are this is another statement from a wise man, and I'm relaying it to you. The Republicans, get it? Because they can't, are the weak males, fathers, who are getting run roughshod over and just cave and cave and cave to the female spirit. Right? Right. And then, the cultures. The Christian culture is the culture of the sort of woman now and weak male caves into the unchristian cultures. There are some very unchristian cultures that are corrupting and polluting our once Christian civilization and turning it into a degenerate culture. Blackness, the unchristians who are running the media and all this other stuff makes me so angry. I may touch on my competitor, Alex Jones. He had a debate a couple of days back about the most evil man ever, historical figure. But you know what? Let me get to a moment of Nervous Nancy's tenure by getting to a caller. William in California is on the line and has a nice historical lesson for us, I think. William, how are you doing?
How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. How about you?
How's the back?
It's okay. It's
Get yourself a bar stool chair. That might be better for you.
Where I'm forced to sit up straight.
Right.
Okay.
She's the mouth.
Is she loud?
Yeah, more. She's the mouth of the house. I get it.
Right.
You know what, man? She's also, they like they're trying to boast about the woman, but the thing about it is she's actually one of the first, I think, to lose the gavel twice.
Yeah.
Okay. And yesterday, Art from Ohio. Oh my God, one of my favorite callers. He was on it yesterday. What a call.
Nice.
I remember what he's talking about when they failed their first failure on the impeachment on Donald Trump, they had a press conference, and they said, "Now, are you guys going to back off now?" And Trump's economy is like the best ever.
Uh-huh.
And she was standing there with pencil neck.
Pencil neck is Shifty Adam Schiff.
Yeah. Is that Adam Schiff? Yeah. And she responded with, "I hope," and I quote her, "I hope the economy crashes and we don't care about it."
Whoa. That's Nervous
Now,
Nancy said that?
I cannot find that clip,
Yeah.
but she did say that. If it was 2 months later, I don't even know if it may have been 30 days later, we got hit with the pandemic.
Oh, wow. So this was the second false impeachment.
Well, no. This was after the first one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the second one was J6 mess.
Art is on it.
Yeah.
Art is absolutely right. She did say that, and
Wow.
that's why a lot of stuff is coming out about Dr. Fauci and everybody that probably knew this was coming. For this woman to say she hopes the economy crashes, you do have to realize under Trump, younger people were working not Walmart jobs like with Obama, but they were working good jobs.
Interesting. You know,
And the gasoline. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know whether she had any intention or had any plans of killing the economy. Although you don't put anything past these people.
It was a little strange for her
But
to say that.
I definitely wouldn't put it past her, of course, to wish ill upon the country, to hurt the president, who is, our greatest president, and to hurt us, because she's not for
he's
us.
The GOAT. Is it him or Reagan are the GOATs? So here's the deal. Do you think they would sacrifice us just to get their way to get at him?
Yes. No hesitation. Yes, of course. Because look at what they do. They let the illegals in. She's for the illegal invaders. These little children.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you had a call yesterday from California about somebody who probably just found out about just recently in their life about the popular vote versus the electoral college.
Right.
And they're boasting like, that's the plan with all the people coming through the border. They were intending to try to do away with the electoral college. Excuse me. And that's not going to happen. You can brag all you want. That is just not going to happen. There's too many things that you have to change to get rid of the electoral college. And if you just now learning about the electoral college versus the popular vote, that means you don't know why they have an electoral college. Because if they didn't have an electoral college, every president, every term will come from New York and California.
Yeah.
And they will never have that. So you can put that idea up and put it up. It's not going to happen. Also, the fake global warming, that garbage. Now,
Hey, I disavow that. It's global warming is real.
Yeah, right. James,
Uh-huh.
How long, you got your laptop right there. How long has the automobile been in? How long have we had an automobile? Is it over 100 years?
I want to say over 100 years, like early 19 teens. I want to say.
Okay, so how long have we had junkyards for old cars?
Probably
About the same amount of time.
Yeah, a couple years
Okay.
less.
Okay. Has any of those old cars harmed the earth? No.
Not to my knowledge.
And, people come to those junkyards and pick apart and they take parts off old cars, rebuild classics. And these cars really don't go to waste. They take fenders off of them, doors, everything. And I want you to imagine, for this person that believes in global warming, I want you to imagine a field full of batteries and cars, battery-operated cars sitting in the field with lithium.
That lithium.
So if you're so concerned about what's clean, you have to realize all these batteries are going to be filthy.
That lithium stuff is. Yeah, it should be put back into the lithium mines or something. What can they do?
I mean, they're so into wokeness and slavery and all of that, but they're not thinking that these are 8-year-old kids, boys and girls in Africa, crawling in these spider, snake-infested caves to get this little piece of lithium for $3 a day.
Wow.
So if you're so into the earth and wokeness and all of that, everything that you have with the Democratic Party represents something stupid.
Right.
Like,
It's
we
fake.
don't test missiles. Where did you get that information? I'm glad the guy from the Army called and he said,
Yeah.
you don't test missiles.
Right.
You know what Trump told that
Not
guy
that
in
much
North
anymore.
Korea.
Not every day,
Yeah.
that's for sure. And not in
Well,
Fort Worth.
what
or
did
wherever it was.
what did Trump tell? What's his name in North Korea? He says you put another missile by the Philippines and Okinawa and all of that. Japan, send another missile. We will show you that we don't test. That's
Yeah.
where you should know your history. We don't test. Our stuff has been working since 1945. We're the only one to drop a bomb.
Yeah.
We don't test. Our stuff works.
Well, we tested once on Bikini Island, right? Didn't we test a bomb on Bikini
They
Island
did.
and somewhere
They
in like
did.
Arizona or Utah or
They
something?
did, but they really don't do that
And then
stuff
that was it.
anymore. I mean,
Right.
our stuff works.
Yeah.
And no, Rick from
Interesting.
Maine, you're on it. We don't need to be in Ukraine at all.
Right.
Because if California left the United States and we came out here with the military to bomb them, and Russia got involved, there'll be hell to pay. So we should not be over there. Ukraine used to be a state of Russia, the Soviet Union.
Right.
Leave that alone. And I think Joe Biden wants Ukraine destroyed anyway because him and his family have so much corruption involved with Ukraine. They're just
Maybe.
letting it happen. And no, we shouldn't be over there at all
Yeah.
funding this stuff. We should not. We should not.
I tend to agree with you. Definitely, man. I appreciate it.
We
William.
don't have any business over there.
Yeah.
You know, an act of war. They already warned them. You know, you said, you know, you send those planes. It's going to be like an act of war. So what did they do? I think they went around that some kind of way. But we should not be involved with it. I agree with Rick.
Yeah.
But the guy that called it, that worked with the Patriot missile, he was on it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Brian
where do
in
we
North
test
Carolina. Shut
Yeah, he's right about that. Where do you see any Patriot missiles being tested? You know how much those things cost?
Yep. And those missiles don't warm the earth. Well, thank you, William.
No,
it's good to hear from
they
you, man.
don't.
Take care.
All
man.
right. Take care.
Merry Christmas. Funny. Yeah, kind of like how nervous Nancy doesn't care about Americans suffering. I'm saying she doesn't. Because why else would she allow the abortion, you know, and illegal aliens flooding in? Oh, migrants. I'm sorry, migrants. We don't use dehumanizing language. Of course, aliens are human. They just have values and culture alien to us. They're an alien people, alien to America. Although America is turning out to be more and more like them. But they fled the corrupt country, and now they're bringing a corrupt country, or many of them are. It's funny, I was listening to my competitor, Alex Jones. He's my competitor. And he was debating Nicholas J. Fuentes, sort of, who is the guy from Cozy.tv, from AFPAC, America First Political Action Conference. JLP spoke there in like February, whenever it was. And I don't know anything about history, right? Generally, I don't know history. Don't know much about history. And Fuentes made the statement, the claim, and I have no reason to dispute it, that for the last 100 years, there has been many Jewish people who've come into the country, and they were all like, he said, rabbinical, like religious Jewish people. But then a few generations later, they're a bunch of secular, atheistic, very unchristian, very anti-Christian people. 70%, according to this guy whom I debated before, he was mocked as the crying Nazi. I interviewed him on the Hake Report. YouTube called it not for kids or something like that. I don't know. They blocked it, kind of. Censored it on a certain level. Christopher Cantwell, he said that 70% of the Jewish people vote Democrat. That's why I say, oh, these are not normal whites. 70%. Well, I don't know if 70% voted Democrat, but he said 70% voted for Hillary Clinton. I'm like, whoa. Thought they were supposed to be smart, high IQ. I guess IQ does not mean morals. Because how can you have morals and vote for crooked Hillary, lying crooked Hillary, over Trump? I guess there is an intellectual, emotional aspect, a victim-minded aspect of them that does not identify with the simple, manly Christianity of a simple man, an honest man like real Donald Trump. That's apparently what happened. Interesting, huh? That was over at band.video. I heard about it from Nick. Nicolas, host of Nick's stream. He mentioned it was happening the other day, a couple days ago, I guess. And then TKR Official on Telegram, that's Azzmador, our resident historian, shared it. And I happened to cross it. And so I was listening to the first half hour or so of the hour and 20-minute long video with commercials cut out over there on band.video. JLP appears on different band.video episodes. He's been interviewed by Alex Jones and many times by the great Owen Schroyer. So, Nick Fuentes joins Alex Jones live via Skype. Based Skype. Nice, huh? To discuss the now notorious interview with Ye, which is better known as Kanye West, his slave name. Based slave name. Dignified slave name. But he doesn't realize that. But that's okay. Kanye West. JLP Talk is on Telegram as well as the Hake Report. We're not quite as active as TKR Official, though. But I listened to that first half hour. Very logical, upstanding guys. Are they wrong? I don't know. Alex Jones is more Gen X boomer. And then Nick Fuentes is more Zoomer. And the Zoomers don't care about this falling all over ourselves, calling the Nazis and the Hitler stuff, which is long dead history, ancient history, calling them evil. He's more concerned about present day evil, which to me makes sense. And really, to be fair, AJ, my competitor, not to be confused with AJ Gallardo, both of those guys, all three of those guys are concerned with evil going on today. Today. Not, slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, colonization, Nazis. I like to call them like that. Nazis. Communists today, evil people today are doing evil. I have a bonus little notion before I get back to stories and calls. I want to share this notion from former JLP guest, Jory Micah. Let me drag this into the folder. I don't have it for you yet. I added this bonus in from about despair. Jory Micah. Cool name, huh? Jory Micah. She's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. She's been on The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson. I think she ran from Jesse Lee because Jesse Lee used the word fat. Don't say that too much, kids. Jory Micah, and she's all into her title, her accomplishments, her education. M.A. This is her username or whatever you call it, name on Twitter. Jory Micah is the username or tag or whatever. But then Jory Micah, M.A., that's Masters of Associates, I guess, or Master of Arts, I don't know, master's degree in Biblical Studies and Church History. And she tweeted just today, this morning, there's a reason deaths of despair. Oh, I thought it said depths of despair. I don't read. Plague Americans. It's called capitalism. And so she's all blaming capitalism for evil. And she's all, deaths of despair include dying by suicide and overdose. Okay, lady. I mean, that's true, I guess. Yes, deaths of despair include dying by suicide and overdose. Yeah, I agree. And it's because of capitalism. What a joke. But it's, everybody has their pet thing that they use in place of evil. Darth. They use, for Jory Micah, it's capitalism. For Hake, it's communism. They use communism for like a stand-in for everything evil. For some of the harsh Jew critics, or actually the Jew blamers, it's the Jews. For us he-man woman haters, it's women. For the women who hate men, it's the men. For the blacks, it's racism. You know? Some guy was, other former JLP guest was stuck in traffic and he's all, this is racism. Or that's how he joked on Facebook one time. I was Facebook friends with him. It's that wild-haired guy. I brought him on the Jesse Lee Peterson show when I was producer a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. Ellie Mistall. He appears on MSNBC. He's been on The View. He has this wild gray hair, fat, or corpulent. We don't use the word fat. Corpulent. Portly. Obese. Has glasses, and he's like smearing the founding fathers. Should we call them fathers? Jesus said, call no man father. Smearing the founders, the founding men of the country. Oh, slavers. Give me a break. It is the Jews, though, says Mina. Yeah, them too, for sure. Most, I would say. Most of them, too. It includes them, for sure. Steve Soprano says, I hate capitalism even though I literally depend on it for everything because I can't do anything for myself. Blinking idiots. So anyway, isn't that interesting? And I don't want to like argue with her on the internet because I don't want to get blocked by her because her tweets are so interesting. So, Jory Micah, blaming it on capitalism for people's despair. And we don't hardly have, oh, by the way, her Twitter profile reads, loving people is loving God. And she thinks she loves people, I guess. And she thinks she knows God. She's a writer. And she's neurodivergent. Which means she's, her brain is different. It diverges from the norm, I guess. Most of you guys are neurotypical. I learned that from my former de facto producer, Dylon. Because he talks about neurotypical people in his books. He has a couple of books out. Dylon, real Dylan Volk. And she's in recovery, chasing liberation, ending capitalism, fighting for the poor and working class. Communist fists, emoji. You know the fist? With a white fist. Black power fist, but white. Is she a normal white? Jory Micah. What a name. Cool name. I like that name. And I think she used to be kind of cute, by the way. But last time I saw her on the Fallen State, she got chunkier. But I like them chunky but funky. Sorry, kids. But anyway, yeah, see, this cute picture if it's blurry. And she's smart because she put the camera above her head. If you elevate the camera above your head and point it down on you, it shows your chin. It gives you a good solid jawline. The best chance at having a jawline. And it makes you look cuter. Just pro tip for the ladies. I don't know if you would look right if you were a man doing it. Maybe. Men don't take selfies. Selfies. Pugh. How embarrassing. I don't even the word selfie is embarrassing. But anyway, my point is that she's naming capitalism as, oh, that's what's the real evil. But no, how about it's good versus evil? And evil is in you, Jory. If you're watching, it's Jory Micah. Watch the Hake report. Severio Jones says, and by the way, capitalism is a stepping stone to communism. Did you know that? I learned that from a Ethan Ralph and based Bill Lockwood. It is a stepping stone. They use capitalism to push communism. It's capitalism without morals. In communism, no one ever going to move a toe because you get the same salary if you hang around or if you fix the front fountain of the village. Yeah. Steve Soprano says about taking profile pics with the camera above you or phone above you. That's a typical fat girl technique. We love the fat girls. We do. It's a fact. If we love anybody. So anyway, I have more pictures to share with you and some more nutty woman logic for you guys. Is that redundant to say nutty woman? Nutty and woman, it's like, well, you already said woman. You don't have to say nutty because nutty is implied. Perhaps I should just say woman logic. Just kidding, ladies. We love you. You know what I mean. Don't let Satan talk to you. I once said, no. Let me not ramble too long. Tony in California is on the line. He got rejected by JLP, so he's crawling on over to Hake for some attention. How you doing, Tony in California?
What's going on, Hank? How the heck are you? How that weak back of yours doing?
It's doing fine. It's strong. Don't test it.
Yeah. I don't believe it's your back. I believe just to put you in the street for a little while. But the reason I called, Jesse, man, he called himself a godly man, sit there on his own show and lied on me.
He calls himself a godly man? Jesse Lee calls himself a godly man?
Yeah, because he got his own.
Really?
He got his own prayer.
So
I ain't
JLP,
never seen that prayer in the Bible nowhere, but
so JLP calls himself a godly man?
That's what he say.
He said that?
Well, that's what he's thinking. You know, he's telling people.
Oh, you're a mind reader.
He's counseling people. Go to the Father.
So you made that up.
Go to the Father.
So you made that up.
Go to the Father.
So you made that up.
You say he's a Christian, right?
No. You made it up that he said that he's a godly man.
You say he's a Christian, right?
Nuh-uh. Answer the question. Answer the question, buddy.
He say he's a Christian, but he sit there on his own
Answer the question.
show and
Did he say,
on me.
I'm a godly man? Did he say that?
No, he say he's a Christian.
Okay. So he
That's
said he did not say
man.
that. So you lied.
In America, if you're a Christian, you're supposed to be a godly man.
True.
But the thing is, he don't want to talk about the destruction of white folks doing to this country and people of this country trying to make a living.
So you're calling into the Hake report complaining about the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
No, I'm calling about the white folks in America destroying people's lives on greed and corruption and scamming people out their money. That's the reason I'm calling.
And
but Jesse don't want to talk about that.
It was so interesting today.
He always said blacks was here to put on this.
I'm putting him on hold because I'm trying to talk and he keeps on rambling. Tony, you're on hold. Okay, nobody can hear you, but I'll come back to you. It's funny. Since he brought up the Jesse Lee Peterson show, excellent show today. I don't know if it was the second hour or third hour, but this guy called in to the JLP show with the same topic that he's calling Hake on. Dissatisfied because JLP didn't give him the satisfaction. He's like, why are white folks so. He calls in that the same tone of voice, false concern for a fellow man, saying, why are white folks so this with some story that none of us have heard yet. And it's fake, it's shallow, it's empty. And so JLP pointed that out to him and said, you know what? Call in with something with a real conversation. But we don't need real conversations on the Hake report. We need entertainment, and blacks are entertaining. So we're back with Tony. How you doing, Tony?
Yeah, Hank, I mean, the thing is, you got this preacher and his son scam millions of dollars.
I saw that
on the
story.
PPP loan, the COVID loan. You got Marjorie Green. She took money from the PP loan and scammed them. You got
I don't buy that.
People,
don't talk about the Queen.
All you got to do research.
No, I don't buy that. I don't have to. No, you don't, because you misinterpret everything. You just proved.
No, ain't no misinterpret.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
Scamming people out of money.
No.
Come on, Jeff.
Tony.
Come on, Hank.
I'm going to prove to you that you misinterpret stuff.
Okay. Read what your computer said about Marjorie Green on the
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in
talking
trash about my queen.
You don't want to talk about the preacher and his son taking millions of dollars.
Okay, I'm putting Tony on hold because I have to make this point. That he is interpreting JLP as thinking he's godly and then talking crap, sorry kids, about Tony. But he told the truth. He showed love to Tony. And probably he is a godly man. But I've never heard him say he's a godly man, sitting up there all self-righteous, which is what Tony's implying. Oh, phony. Phony Tony baloney. And so he's misinterpreting the Marjorie Green thing, no doubt about it. And I don't really defend Marjorie Green excessively because I don't know her. And plus, I'm not for women being in office. Maybe she did scam, who knows? But as crooks go, Tony's not interested in the real crooks. Right, Tony? You're only interested in accusing white people.
I'm talking about the Europeans destroying this country.
Exactly, that's what I mean. You're only interested in white crooks. Talking about the white crooks.
European came up with this Bitcoin thing and took billions of dollars.
That was not a normal white.
No, he's white. Ain't no such thing as a normal white.
Yes, there is.
Ain't no such thing.
Yes, huh? That's not a normal white. That was a liberal.
He's not normal.
He was a liberal. And he was born to a Jewish family, but probably not the Christian kind of Jewish.
White. Ain't no such thing as white and Jew. It's a white.
Yeah,
You talk about. Let me ask you this.
You're ignorant. Why are you ignorant?
Why is white folks mad about the people coming across the border? Why are you mad about people coming home?
Tony, do you know you're ignorant?
That's your opinion.
No, it's a fact. Why are you
mad about people coming home from coming across the border?
You're changing the subject. Home. Don't change the subject.
I'm asking you a question.
I'm not interested in your question. You're trying to change the subject. I asked you a question.
I'm trying to get your opinion on something.
My opinion is you're ignorant.
You don't want to talk about the white scam in America, but
yeah, I did. That's a white Jewish person. That's not a normal white. He's a white liberal. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Those are not normal whites. Those are anti-white people. He supports the Democrats. Democrats are anti-white.
All this is man-made.
Did you know? Did you know? Tony. Did you know that Democrats are anti-white?
I don't understand. I don't know nothing about that, bro.
Yeah, see,
we're human beings. That's all I know. We're human beings, but see,
then why are you talking about white folks?
You want to divide the country.
I thought we were all human beings.
This, black that, Mexicans this, Mexicans that. Y'all the dividers. Y'all the haters.
You're not even a normal black.
Y'all are the true haters of America.
Yeah, okay. You call us America.
And let some people come home. Let some people cross that line and come home. Mexico was America.
Mexico was your America?
No, Mexico was America, brother, until America stole the land.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
It do. Where do you think California come from? That's Mexican. Where do you think New Mexico come from? That's Mexican. Arizona, that's Mexico. Texas.
Oh,
Mexico.
you meant Mexico. What you meant? America was Mexico.
That's what it does. That's what I said.
No, it's not what you said. You said Mexico was America.
At one time, yes.
Mexico was America.
Mexico was at the southern part of America was all Mexico.
For about 50 years.
Ain't no about no 50 years.
Yeah, huh?
It's more than that.
You don't know.
It's more than that.
Who cares?
Until America stole the land.
Now is now.
White America always stealing something.
We don't know.
That's in y'all blood
Tony,
to steal.
Tony.
That's why y'all came up with that word capitalism.
We don't know nor care about ancient history. We care about now. Because right now we have invaders at the border. Let them come home. How about go home? Almost made me say the word for... Anyway, I'm not going to say it.
Why you always losing, man? Y'all losing everything y'all do.
Huh.
But you know what, thing? One day you gonna learn. You gonna learn to get along.
Will you ever learn?
To get along with everybody.
Hold on.
bro,
Will you ever
know better
learn?
Than me.
Will you ever
You know
learn?
better than me. I'm not no better than you. So let's be human.
Will you ever learn?
Dividing black and white.
I gotta go. Thanks, Tony. I'm hanging up on him because I don't know if he can just not hear me, but I'm trying to have a conversation, but he wants to preach at me. But thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the Was that entertaining? Was it empty or both? I'm shaking my head. Let me get to some super chats, guys. I didn't get to any of the archive super chats, by the way. And I have some archive super chats. Lin Yen Chin on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Atheist, he states, is the quality and state of having atheism. Please drop the Bill Lockwood level of stupid double conjunction that makes fake terms like atheistic and communistic and socialistic. The word ist words never need ick. Yeah, because communist and atheist and socialist are not only nouns, they are also adjectives. We don't have to say socialistic to turn it into an adjective. Socialist is already enough. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin. I don't know if I'm going to change because I'm an old dog, and it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, I hear. But thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the grammar correction. Bible Thumper with the super chat asks, was Jesus conceived out of wedlock? No, he was conceived. I don't know if you would consider that conceived out of wedlock. Joseph and Mary were betrothed, a legally binding marriage, accustomed to remain separate. It's a custom to remain separate for some period before the wedding. Otherwise, Joseph could have walked away without issuing a certificate of divorce. See Matthew 1:18 and 19. Yeah, thank you, Bible Thumper. Yeah, people are like, oh, Jesus was whatever. You know, because Jesus was conceived inside of Mary before she and Joseph were officially had consummated the marriage, right? And so Joseph, being a godly man, an upstanding man, he intended to divorce her quietly because he thought that she was pregnant out of wedlock by somebody else, or pregnant by somebody else, you know, like adultery type of thing. But he didn't want harm to befall her. He was not a malicious man, like so many of us are, towards women who are not faithful, towards lying women. He was going to divorce her quietly, but an angel said no. Divorce her quietly so she wouldn't be punished, and, you know, I'll be, you know, try to get her back. That's why they called her a godly man. The Bible called him a godly man, something to that effect, right? So, yeah, he could have just said, oh, this is canceled. But no, he was going to issue a certificate of divorce for marital unfaithfulness. Thank you, Bible Thumper. That's a nice reminder. A nice Christmas reminder. Christmas. Lin Yen Chin says with the super chat, tell Sion, he pronounces it Sion, okay? Sion is pronounced Sion according to Lin Yen Chin. And he pronounces it with an S, or he spells it with an SC. Tell Sion she is the devil's daughter for falling into the crowd of stupid, sorry kids, that is convinced. I shouldn't have said it so cool. Because when you say a bad word coolly, it makes kids want to repeat it. I shouldn't have been like, stupid. I just did it again. Oops. I did it again. The crowd of stupid that is convinced that Christmas is not about Christ, just because the selected day of celebration is used to undermine and interrupt pagan festivities. How stupid they are. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin. I agree with you. We take over the pagan holidays and make them Christian. And then the unchristian people have taken over the Christian holidays and made them very unchristian again, haven't they? It's a fact. Look it up. Or just look at reality. Well, thank you guys. I will get to the archive super chats, but I've spent enough time on supers for now. So hopefully I will get to them. If it be the Lord's will and if Hake remembers. Right? Oh, I accidentally closed a tab meaning to get to it. Double check over here. Oh, we do have... Okay, I am due to read more supers. There were super chats over there on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@ the Hake Report. I should have been checking this, man. Azzmador, our resident historian, who documents present-day history, I will add, by the way. So you could call him a journalist, but the word journalist is a slur, so we don't call him a journalist. We call him our resident historian. He says, Tony in California, lies and lack of accuracy incoming. So he must have predicted that call ahead of actually hearing Tony's voice. Tony is one of the blacks who can't tell Jews from whites. Yeah, he's all, ain't no different. And that's why I call him ignorant. That's short for ignorant. Azzmador states, Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, who is not white. Well, he's Japanese, right? Something like that, I guess. That's enough. That's close enough to white. You see these Asians getting beat up because they're white. You know, these ignorant blacks. We love the blacks. Even those who punch the Asians. Not that we love that they punch the Asians. That's not, we don't love that. Anyway, he says Sam Bankman-Fried, which is spelled fried, is Jewish, which is Middle Eastern Semitic, not European, which means he is not white. And certainly his values are not the normal white American values, which are Christian, freedom, not Democrat, okay? Granted, there are some perhaps whites who are Democrats, I guess. You know, you can't help it. They were in the unions and stuff. Like, you know, people can't help. And plus, the Democrats probably didn't used to be as bad as they are today. Not probably. They weren't. Azzmador goes on with another super chat. The Spaniards took the land from the Indians. That is the American Indians. The Empire of Mexico took it over. And Anglo-Americans took it from the Mexicans. Conquest is the highest claim of ownership. Indeed. And honestly, demographics is destiny, to quote a phrase that was maybe quoted by Congressman Steve King, who told me on the Hake Report when I interviewed him. Did you know I interviewed Congressman Steve King? That the Anglos went into Texas and were farming the land and taking care of the land and multiplying, being fruitful. Good old Anglos. And so then Texas became America. The Mexico people or government allowed the Anglos to come in, and then it became America. And that wasn't even necessarily fighting conquest. That was just demographics. And the demographics are being severely and have been severely subverted here in America. And it's going on to this day. I was chuckling because Taking Care of Business over there on Odyssey said, I find it hilarious that a Jew has the last name of Bank Man. That's fried. Oh, God. I disavow. I shouldn't have read that. I'm shaking my head. Anyway, Bankman-Fried. He has a talk about a woman-oriented culture. He has a hyphenated last name, and he wasn't even married. I guess that's his father's and mother's last names combined into a hyphenated last name for the kids. How embarrassing. Shouldn't it be baked? Taking Care of Business? Anyway. I do know that some of that stuff may really have happened, you know, the ovens and things like that. Because I read in Killing the SS by Bill O'Reilly, which I've talked about before, some of you who've been around may recall, that there was this Jewish guy who came, I guess he was sent to the camps in Germany after World War II or late World War II from America, and he documented or journaled, he was a journalist, can you believe what he says, that some of the freed people at the camp grabbed an SS guard, security guard type of guy, a soldier, one of the German Nazi soldiers, I guess, and put him in the oven in and out and just burned him alive. So there's a documented instance of the, I think, I can only assume they were Jewish people from the camps, burning the Nazis to death. So maybe the Nazis did that to some of them. I don't know. Just FYI, that's some history courtesy of the great based boomer, Bill O'Reilly, a passionate man. Guys, before I get back to calls, hang tight callers, more black callers incoming, but they're more sensible guys. I have space pics and nutty woman logic to share still. But, it's time for some music, Christmas music. We need to return this show to Christianity, right? The Hake Report. Let's do Sufjan Stevens, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Sort of a Christmas song or hymn or Christian song. Enjoy from this liberal Sufjan Stevens. And I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight, you musical Philistines.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy unchanging love. Here I raise mine Ebenezer, hither by thy help I come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus saw me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God, me to rescue me from danger, interposed his precious blood. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to gain. Let that grace now, like a fetter, bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave ceasing. Tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy unchanging love.
Isn't this nice? Wasn't that nice? Good timing, I guess. Sorry, my video ran out. You can leave it open, I suppose, as long as there's not extra noise coming in. Yeah. We leave the door open so that the hot air coming out of Hake's mouth doesn't make it all humid and stuffy in here. The borders are open, yes. Man. Hank tried to play good music while I'm here. Hank. Oh. Anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Right? I think so. Some more supers, guys. Real quick, since I'm on the topic, Azzmador states, no one denies that there were crematory ovens, meaning to cremate the bodies. Were they put in alive, though? He says, he continues, in any place that houses tens or hundreds of thousands of people has to have a way to deal with the dead. People die. Yeah, especially, and I add this, especially when there are like blockades, right? Weren't there blockades on Germany during World War II? And so like more people were starving in that country. I think like I remember seeing, and that's what I heard from another guy. Like I remember seeing, and I was in high school or earlier, pictures of like emaciated people at the concentration camps. Emaciated. That means really skinny, skin and bones people. It means they weren't eating, didn't get enough to eat. And were they purposely starved? Or was it because it's a poor country that couldn't afford to take care of all their interns? Interns? Did we feed the... did our fascist or what, communist, whatever, FDR president feed the Japanese interns at the Japanese camps, or were they starving? Did they come out emaciated? Anyway, Azzmador states with another super chat over there on Odyssey, the ovens themselves disprove the 6 million. And he shares a meme or a picture. Let me see if I can drag this into the folder just so I can share it with you guys. Far be it from me to repeat a cookies joke. 5 years equals 1,826 days. Man, that's math. It's above my thing. 1,826 days is 43,824 hours. Wow. 43,824 hours equals 2,629,440 minutes. And then it says something million Jews divided by 2.6 million minutes is 2.2 Jewish people per minute, which is really, which is a lot. It's a rapid rate for how many ovens, you know. So anyway, maybe they weren't all cremated. Not only blockades, but the Allies also bombed all the supply lines. Germans were starving too once the bombing began, says Azzmador. Yeah, there is violence on many sides, I believe that. And perhaps very fine people on both sides, I don't know. That's why we don't get lost in, well, I especially, because I'm simply not interested in learning history. I can't bring myself to be interested in it. I can't even bring myself to be interested in Balenciaga. You think I'm going to learn history? Balenciaga is some company, right, that's in trouble. that's why I look at the present times. It's better to know yourself and how the evil inside you and how it functions, and then understand the present times. And it's good to like learn about different stories in history and take lessons about human nature from them. But you have to know that this happened. Like they're trying to force us to agree with them about something that doesn't even is so long over, and they're the ones who are most aggressive about forcing you to understand this stuff are the ones who are in favor of the worst evils going on today. So you do the math.
To this day.
To quote the great Dennis Prager on The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson, who quoted another historical person whom I never did know about. I think it was a Jewish guy that he quoted. There are two types of people in the world, the decent and the indecent. Or he said two races or something like that. Isn't that kind of a nice statement? Sort of, maybe. I think. And most people are indecent. To differ from that guy who interviewed Kanye, not a Christian. He's like a MIT guy. Podcast Kanye. He interviewed Lex Fridman. I think he too is a Jewish guy. He said most people are decent or have good hearts or something like that. That's not true. That's such a lie. Most/all people are evil and have to repent. Born in sin. So, as JLP says, 2 hoops and a holler from being a Jeffrey Dahmer. So I don't doubt that people are evil and do crazy evil things. On many sides. I don't know if you can see this, but I have my urn. Not my urn. Jesse polluted my mind by calling this an urn. This is a spittoon. Can you see it? It's a spittoon. It also looks like a glorified ashtray, to be honest, because why else does it have these things? These things look like they're maybe I have a bad, dirty imagination, but these things look like they hold cigars. Don't these things look like you rest a cigar here? And like you tap the cigar, drop it into the ashtray thing? But no, this is a spittoon, supposedly. I got this from it's the real Mr. Mad. He calls Nick Stream. He's in the Hake Report chat. It says Hammersmith Ironworks. And it's this nice oil-rubbed bronze finish. And except for this chrome thing that's like soldered. Is that considered soldered, or is that something like that? Soldered on. This chrome cigar holder for 2 cigars. I assume that's what that's for. So maybe it's a combination spittoon ashtray. But anyway, in the old days of the saloons in the Old West, at least from what I saw on TVs and movies and things and TV shows, was that guys who would sit at the saloon, which is another word for a bar, would lean over and spit into these things that are sitting on the floor. Spit into the spittoon. But I'm not going to spit inside of the Jesse Lee Peterson studio, not even into this spittoon. Only onto the screen do I spit. And that's only incidental from talking. But thank you, the real Mr. Man. Very cool. Was that little segment lame? I'm shaking my head. Hang on, callers. One bit more. Let's show and tell some more stuff. Let's show these pictures of space. Is this real? This is so cool. Commie Nonsense Network CNN says 13.5 billion years. That's how long it took for some of the light in this new wide field image of the universe to reach Earth. So show these pictures. I know there's a bunch of them. Just kind of slideshow through them once or maybe twice, probably once. Dazzling galactic diamonds shine in new Webb telescope image. It's a poetic description of what's going on. I don't think they're actually diamonds. But it's an article on Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. So you don't know if it's real or fake. From Webb Space Telescope or something, right? James Webb Space Telescope shows never-before-seen galaxies as well as some of the faintest objects visible in space. And are these photoshopped or real? Look, it looks like dinosaurs or cool, like, cloud things. So awesome. To me, I like this type of stuff. Captures the imagination. Are they photoshopped? Are they doctored images? Did they enhance the coloring and sharpness and all that stuff? Some of them are better than others. But it's cool. It's like, how can you look at this stuff and not believe in God? Wow, neat pics, says Lisa, our resident health expert over there on the Facebook crew. Cool, huh? Oh my gosh. One looks like the Eye of Sauron unless I'm mistaken. So cool. Awesome. Phew. We used to have a hardcover book of stars and stuff like that, and it had pictures very much like this. Which one is that? Is that Jupiter? To get more stupider? Boy, girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. Don't repeat this, kids. Boys go to Mars to get more candy bars. Look at that, so cool. This makes me think, oh, they just made this on a computer and put it out. Awesome. Captures the, just captivating images. So cool. So NASA tells you it's all CGI. This is Matt Living the Dream. Shout out to Matt Living the Dream. Nice to see you, man. Anyway, had to share that with you. Let me also share this with you, guys. Hang tight, callers. I'm not forgetting you. I'm purposely ignoring you until later, okay? So don't feel snubbed, though. You're men. You won't feel snubbed. Here's this. Nutty woman logic. I once said all musicians are liberals. More than once I've said that, you know. I've said it on the show. And I know one woman whom I used to know said, except for so-and-so, naming some nice woman whom I know who may not be such a liberal. And then I'm like, all women are liberals. And then sure enough, like on cue, you call somebody what they are, or you call women what they are, and some woman takes it personally and was like, you always bash women 24/7. Isn't that a liberal statement? No, I don't always bash women 24/7. Talk about sensitive, huh? Remind me of the blacks. Those blacks who are into that. Hake is always bashing the blacks. No, I bash the blacks, the gays, and the women. And the transgenders. But I don't bash pedophiles. Because it's an identity. I'm laughing, but it's gross. Here's this clip, and then I will get to calls. Nutty woman. This is from Clown World _ saying, this woman is crazy. This is clip 12, but let me introduce it. Still Gray shared a 14-second clip, I think, of this. According to California Democrat Representative Katie Porter, pedophilia isn't a crime, it's an identity. He shares video from Catch Up Network. Catch Up, not to be confused with gross tomato paste. Sometimes it's not that bad. California Democrat Representative Katie Porter says the allegation of groomer and pedophile is alleging that a person is a criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity. And they're talking about the LGBT madness. So, very interesting. Perversion is identity. Identifying with the wrong gender is an identity. You're identifying with your sexual perversion. Perversion is an identity? No. JLP is so right about this. The folly of identifying with your issues and your obsessions and perversions and false desires from given you from Satan, right? Or your mind, which is not your friend. Here's clip 12.
This allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. So this is clearly prohibited under Twitter's content, yet you found hundreds of these posts on the platform. Your team filed complaints about these posts, correct?
Yes.
And how often did Twitter act to take down these posts, which violated its own content policy?
Very rarely.
So from our calculation, it looks like about 99% of your complaints, they basically acted on one or two of the 100+ complaints you filed. Instead of taking them down, Twitter elevated them, allowing them to reach an approximate 72 million users. This is not just about what happens online. What happens online translates into real harms in people's lives. Ms. Popcock, you provide services to a community that experienced a devastating LGBTQ attack. Can you provide some examples of the link between speech online and attacks against providers like you?
We know really online threats, I mean, in addition to just creating an atmosphere of bullying for young people.
That's Jesse Pocock. Inside Out Youth Services, something advocacy, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of women talking. Where's my spittoon? Two. I don't know, maybe I did spit a little bit, but I said two. That means I didn't actually spit. It was a dry two. Makes me want to spit. And that woman is from OC, Orange County, not Orange County, Florida, Orange County, California. Representative Katie Porter, a Democrat, demon rat, female, so-called representative, Congress female congressman. Irvine, Mission Viejo, Orange, City of Orange. Those are three once conservative white Christian cities in the Orange County, which was once conservative. How did this woman get elected? Invasion. Oh, those based Catholic illegals. No, I don't know. Inside Out Youth Services Advocacy Org. Thank you, Hassan. Appreciate that. CEO. That was with that Jessie, Jessie woman. Pocock. I wanted to say peacock, but it's Pocock. Pocock. Pretending that telling the truth on the internet or saying factual things, whether it's out of hatred or love, translates into real world harm. They're trying to attack free speech, especially freedom to tell true things. Woman logic. And, you know, I've seen for years, not Slate 2 maybe, far left outlets like, I'm blanking on the name, it's some sleazy outlet. Starts with an S, I want to say. Far left outlet, woman-led outlets, basically. Talking about, oh, just because you are attracted to MAPS, minor attracted persons, doesn't mean that you've committed the crime. Right. Everybody knows that. But what they falsely believe in is that identity thing. Oh, that's who I am. You know, the gays. Oh, you're hating me for who I am, who I love. You don't love, and it's not who you are. Even the straights don't love, most of us. What's up, Steve, over there in Canada? 100. What's poppin', Hake? He asks. Nice. And it's so sick, and it's being promoted by the female-minded Sleepy Joe administration, because he's barely there. Seemingly. Look at this tweet. The evil black on the inside White House. The White House is lit up rainbow tonight. This was tweeted, I guess, yesterday or something, or 2 days ago, maybe. in celebration of President Biden signing the Respect for Marriage Act. Welcome to the Biden-Harris White House. This is just like Obama did. Obama lit up the White House, or his administration did, in this sick rainbow colors after the so-called Supreme Court forced so-called same-sex marriage down the throats of the American people. Respect for Marriage Act. December 13th, a couple days ago, right? 6:30 p.m., which was 9:30 p.m. their time. United States government organization. I don't recognize America anymore. So let me talk about this. Oh, man. Yeah, let me see if I can plow through this before the bottom of the hour, and then I'll get to calls. Okay, guys? Deal? Deal. This based lesbian against the transgenders. Facing jail. This is from Rebel News. It was shared by Ian Miles Cheong. Norwegian filmmaker. And I'm being a little facetious about the based part. There you can see her. She looks like the Russian who fought Rocky, except a little bit more feminine. Mannish still, but, you know. With this blonde hair all slicked back, short. Anyway, Norwegian filmmaker named Tonje Gjevjon. Tonje Gjevjon, lesbian filmmaker and actress, was informed November 17th she was under investigation for a post on her Facebook page attacking the truth on the internet. Attacking you. That read, quote, "It's just as impossible for men to become a lesbian as it is for men to become pregnant. Men are men regardless of their," and she calls it sexual fetishes, which may be a slight misinterpretation, I don't know, of what's going on. False identity. Falsely identifying with the woman, right? The post was in response to a prominent Norwegian transgender activist, Christine Gentoft, who goes by Christine, and I think that's this person. That's the one on the right, you know, the pink hair. Purplish, gross, fat. That may be I don't want to say it's a dude because that may bring censorship. That's a trans woman. Trans women are women. Sorry, kids, it's so sick. I don't tend to show sick stuff. I try not to do that. Sorry, parents. This person who goes by Christine Gentoft is a transgender biological male who identifies as a lesbian mother and a gamer, Gaymer, meaning he plays video games and calls himself a lesbian mother. He definitely has the spirit of the mama, right? The evil kind. Gentoft, which is the dude, fat one, had previously accused another woman, Christine Ellingson, of transphobia for a similar claim. Ellingson is also under investigation and faces 3 years in jail. Wow, if found guilty, as reported by Rebel News, which is a Canadian outlet, a based Canadian outlet. It's the Canadian Breitbart. I throw around the word based very loosely, okay? But, you know, I appreciate them for what they do. Get them off the screen. But thank you, man. So this lady, who I said looks like the Russian whom Rocky fought in Rocky IV, Tonje Gjevjon, has said she intentionally posted her Facebook message to draw attention to Norway's hate speech laws, which were amended in 2020 to add gender identity and gender expression under protected categories from hate speech, which shouldn't even exist. Hate speech laws shouldn't exist. And that's according to Redux, is reporting. Redux with 2 X's. People found guilty of hate speech face a fine or up to 1 year in prison for private remarks and a maximum of 3 years for public comments. I guess Facebook is public. Women's rights activists have argued that the amendment undermines free speech and expression in the country. And the women's rights people, fake thing, no such thing as women's rights, nor LGBT rights, reminds me of another article, a Christian article, an op-ed that I came across in Christian Post. LGBTQ quote-unquote rights. It's in the name of this article, and the First Amendment cannot coexist. Look at this headline by Ryan Baumberger, exclusive columnist for Christian Post, CP. Not to be confused with color people. Although they probably kiss up to color people. And yeah, they have a gross picture, too, of some woman's hands. I assume those are women's hands, maybe. Nowadays, you can't tell because guys are so girly with their hands and fingers. Anyway, it says LGBTQIA+. There are just some things in life that cannot occupy the same space, writes Ryan Baumberger, exclusive columnist. Old Twitter and free speech. Hillary Clinton and honesty. BLM, Black Lives Matter, and ethical accounting. LGBTQ+++, quote-unquote, rights. And the First Amendment. And so he goes on in the article. At one point he says, quote, he writes, quote, the parentheses 0 Respect for Marriage Act. Nice, man. I appreciate that. The 0 Respect for Marriage Act. That's what sleepy Joe Biden signed into, quote unquote, law. Same-sex and interracial marriage. That's what this Respect for Marriage Act. That's why he lit it up in rainbows. Because you interracially people, you're part of the rainbow. The not godly rainbow. Sorry, interracially married people. I know that's messed up to say. I was kidding. I'm shaking my head. Bad joke. The Respect for Marriage Act and the First Amendment cannot coexist. They will always be at odds, writes Baumberger. This is evidenced by widespread leftist efforts to force religious organizations and people of faith to bow to LGBTQ+ dogma or be fined, fired, deplatformed, sued, and or bankrupted. True. Hollywood, news, and social media platforms have been relentless, writes Baumberger in Christian Post under this article, in swaying 71% of so-called Americans to support so-called same-sex marriage, which doesn't exist. According to Gallup, far-left Gallup, which does polling, the only holdouts, he says, are those who attend church weekly. Those who attend church weekly, the majority of them still don't support the imaginary same-sex marriage. Used to be just a matter of common sense, whether you're Christian or not. It's not even a matter of religious stuff. It's common sense. You don't need the Bible to tell you that's wrong. JLP made the same point on the archive Sunday service that premiered yesterday. I'm going to try to finish in 2 minutes. According to Gallup, even that resistance of churchgoers has dramatically waned in the last 20 years. Support for same-sex, quote-unquote, marriage in that demographic of churchgoers increased from 20% in 2004, which is way too high, to 40% in 2022. Doubling. Pew Research, unsurprisingly, another far-left outlet, shows a similar trend, startling trend, where 61% of Americans polled say same-sex, quote-unquote, marriage is, quote, good for society, unquote. How? I want to say how now, brown cow, like JLP, which I used to hear before JLP, okay? Before he was born, I heard that saying. So back to this lesbian article. Here's a quote from the one who looks like the Russian boxer, the lesbian, with the cool hair. Blonde. She's the base lesbian. She asks, and of course she's not base, but okay. She asks, quote, will the equality minister take action to ensure that lesbian women's human rights, there's that buzzword, don't fall for that, there's no such thing as human rights, are safeguarded by making it clear that there are no lesbians with penises. Oh, sorry, kids. I should have. My spittoon. My spittoon. Wasn't that a cool effect? I'm going to finish the article like this. Hello. There are no lesbians with P-word penises. That males cannot be lesbians regardless of their gender identity. And by tidying up to the mess of the harmful gender policies left behind by the previous government? That's what the base lesbian asks, whose name I can't pronounce. Tonje Gjevjon, something like that. Gjevjon. And she did that confronting Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality. Can you believe that there's a Minister of Culture and Reality, and it's a woman in Norway? Annette Trettebergstuen, who replied, quote, I do not share an understanding of reality where the only two biological sexes are to be understood as sex. Gender identity is also important. Lame. That's a bunch of dumb women arguing about, although I side more with the base lesbian, arguing intellectual mess. Her hair is based, says Hassan. Yeah, it's cool. You can show the picture one more time. Oh, he's hiding the transgender guy from us. Thank you, man. I appreciate that concern. It's not concern, the consideration. Look at that hair. Hake should. I don't have quite that hairline at this point, but she may have the best hair on the internet now. Cool. Has a hard look, mannish look. But it's illogical. I don't share an understanding of the reality, says the Norway's Minister of Culture and Reality, Annette Trachtenberg, where only two biological sexes are to be understood as sex. Gender identity is also important. Gender is not an identity, it's an aspect of what you are physically and your role spiritually on this earth. But these silly women, it's in the Bible. It's not a hate word. It's in the Bible. The Bible is not hate. Although we can use it to hate. We thump. So, okay, it wasn't 2 minutes, it was 5 minutes. I lied. Big surprise. I do have more super chats to get to, but I'm due to get to a caller or two, guys. Denny in Bulgaria. Been on hold for quite some time. Denny, thanks for holding, man. What is up?
Hello, Mr. Hake. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, man.
Well, on your end.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
Glad to hear. Mr. Hake, I'm calling to share a peculiar news. I've been watching the news here and there. Seems that the United States is repeating the mistake that Europe and Asia made, allowing the communism to spread all over there.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about them, the left, repressing conservative values.
Right.
On the contrary. Mr. Hake, if you go back to history and see what happened in Germany in the 30s and the 40s, and I don't know if some of your audience know, but actually the man in charge of Germany back then, Adolf Hitler, he was actually a socialist. So was Joseph Stalin, and so was Mao Zedong. The three men actually responsible for a lot of deaths.
Uh-huh.
And if you really look at it, and if you see it in details, you will see that the majority of the people who suffered were actually their supporters, not their enemies.
Interesting.
Because, and this is what they're doing on purpose. They are pushing them to show their quote-unquote identities. Right now they're using the gay movement, but before that it was, let's see who's the biggest intellectual, let's see who's the biggest socialist, let's see who's the biggest capitalist, etc., etc. And those that were most outspoken were those that were on the front line and those that received the harsh punishment, because they actually use those people that are most passionate. And I'm using the word passionate because it's exactly that they are relying on other people's passions, so that they can attack them afterwards. If you really think about it, it happens in Germany, and Hitler was actually aiming for the intellectuals. Let's see who's the biggest intellectual over here. And when they were outspoken and everything, actually the concentration camps were filled with them first and everybody else later. Hitler destroyed the intellectual part. The same thing happened with Joseph Stalin. Let's see who's the biggest intellectual. Let's see who's the biggest capitalist and protector of the Tsar's background and values. And when those people were they were encouraged to do so, and when they did it, they died. The same thing happened in China. And in China happened actually twice under Mao Zedong. First time was he encouraged them to go against their elders. When they did that,
the young.
He allowed, young versus elders, and afterwards he encouraged them to become teachers, etc., and professors in the colleges and the universities in China.
Yeah.
And when the next generation came, it's called the Little Red Book of Mao Zedong. And in this Little Red Book, that was for the next generation. That was 20 years after the revolution. And the students that were studying this book attacked the teachers that were actually Mao Zedong's first wave of supporters.
Wow.
So he got rid of them as well.
Yeah.
And
that's what evil does.
I'm seeing a pattern of... Yes, sir.
Evil
You're
eats its
absolutely
own.
correct. Mr. Hake, I couldn't have said it better myself. Exactly. They eat their own.
Yeah.
Because they really crave power. That's the only thing they care about. They don't care about you, and by you, I don't mean you, Mr. Hake. I mean, people in general. They don't care about people in general. They don't care about the identities. They pretend to,
right,
so that they can rely on others' emotions.
Just like Nancy Pelosi.
I'm not familiar with. I'm familiar with the name, but I'm not familiar with the actions of this woman.
But continue.
Actually, she did something very good. I know she's a politician in the United States.
Yep.
That's all I know. But she actually did something remarkably good. She went to Taiwan.
Oh, yeah, Taiwan.
Yep. Yes. And the Chinese government actually threatened to blow her plane off. That was all over the Europe, which was a brilliant move from her side. She actually exposed how fragile the Chinese empire actually is.
Yeah.
Because the best thing they could have done in that moment was to just let her go, to go over there, to do her business, and to ignore her. That would have proven actual superiority.
True.
Because, Mr. Hake, think about it. If there is a child that's trying to bite your leg, you're just going to grab the child and, move it elsewhere.
Right.
It's a child. It's not like you're going to fight it or anything.
Yep.
But you probably didn't know about that. In retaliation...
I hadn't looked at it like that. Go ahead.
In retaliation, the Chinese government threw a lot of missile tests into the sea, into the Chinese sea. And actually, they poisoned their own fish.
Wow.
In order to prove how mighty they are, they poisoned their own shores.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous. And I don't know much about this woman.
Right.
But the fact that she actually went there and exposed how ridiculous and fragile they were, it basically confirms what Europe already knew. They are superpower on paper.
Interesting.
But not really.
So so how I see that story is I don't take away your point about China being a bunch of bark, all bark, no bite type of thing, at least at the present time. We'll see if their military seems a little bit more serious than America's.
If you look at, I'm afraid, I'm sorry, please, Mr. Hake, go ahead.
I see them as two woman spirits fighting, trying to expose each other. And Nervous Nancy won that round, but she's not a decent woman. But go ahead.
If you actually observe it a little bit closer, China, which claims to have so much history and everything, first of all, they don't. Maybe I will call another time to tell you why.
Okay.
But actually, if you really think about it, they were never really involved in a war, in a real war. They had internal conflict here and there, but they were never really involved in a war. I don't support the war, any war.
Right.
But sometimes it's necessary.
Right.
And as humans, we all learn from our mistakes. I was watching your program, and you were talking about yourself one time. And you mentioned how you started this and you started that, and you were trying to find your place, right? So you made mistakes here and there, and you're pushing forward.
Yeah.
The same thing is with a nation. And if you have never been in a real conflict, you don't know what to do. So yes, they have armies. Yes, they do have a lot of capacity, a lot of weapons and everything. But if you don't know what to do, it doesn't matter how much resources you have. What matters is how you can use them, and they don't know how to use them.
Interesting.
The whole, not a whole economy, but about 40% of the economy, of the Chinese economy, is a Ponzi scheme.
Wow.
I
wouldn't doubt that, because they do not value honesty and integrity.
No, they don't.
They literally, I read on a Breitbart article where they were literally promoting Karl Marx, Marxism. Marx is not even Chinese. He's like not even Christian either. Yeah.
No, but they're not either. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah, they are promoting them, of course.
Yeah.
This is a communistic country.
Yeah.
And in a communist country, the Soviet Union, before its collapse, was able to produce the most brilliant mathematicians and physicists the world has ever known. But obviously, it's not about the quality of the people. It's about how you manage your resources.
Yeah.
Never in the history of man has ever been proven that communism can manage resources. It simply doesn't work like that. It cannot work, and it will not work.
Right.
And this is why I actually wanted to call you, because if somebody who doesn't agree with you politically, does not agree with you, and listens to this message, they're using you. They really, really genuinely don't care about you. They never did. They're simply using you as a foot soldier, and you're not going to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
So that had never happened in history, and I'm starting to see a pattern, and I'm pretty certain that inevitably those people will be betrayed as well.
Fair enough, man. I appreciate the history lesson from Denny in Bulgaria. It's good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you again, Mr. Hake. I'm very glad to see that you're healthy. Kind regards to all of your colleagues. Merry Christmas and all the best, sir.
Thank you, sir. Adios. Bye. That means bye in Spanish. I cut him off before he said bye fully. Man. Evil versus evil in the world. Frederick is in California on the line, wants to talk to Hake. Been on hold forever. Frederick, thank you for holding, man. Are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Hake?
Doing fine.
All right. Hey, I think that it's pretty much over. You know what I'm saying?
What?
The structure it was built on is falling apart.
That's for sure.
Of what it was built on, the foundation.
Yep, Christianity, white men. Yep.
Yeah, that was a fake lie, and now that it's gone,
civilization,
the black
rule of law.
The blacks are going to strike like they're a union.
Who are going to strike?
I don't see the slave spoils of war being satisfied living in America without changing the Constitution or doing something. They're never going to be satisfied.
I don't follow your point. Who's never going to be satisfied?
The slaves that was free after the Civil War, the blacks.
It's not a civil war. It's a war of northern aggression.
In America.
They're never going to be satisfied? Of course, because anger and passion and sin and the Satan is never satisfied, and they are of all
even
those
if they
things.
Don't even know about all that. I mean,
right.
I don't think they're
never satisfied.
Yeah, like
women are never satisfied.
Women are satisfied sometimes when they
not
get that
talking
alimony
about that.
check,
okay,
and they divorce you, and they get all that money. They hella satisfied.
Self-satisfied.
I think the women and the blacks are going to link up.
I'm just pointing out they may be self-satisfied with that. They may be proud of themselves and excited for a time, but doesn't last. They don't have peace.
Oh.
They don't have peace. Women don't have peace after they shyster you or whatever you call it.
I don't know. I see some women doing pretty good out there.
They're doing fine on the worldly sense, but spiritually they're starving. Thank you, Hassan.
All right.
They're
one
insatiable.
third of the government workers are in the union.
Yeah,
So where
government
are we
workers
headed?
are in a union. Ridiculous. Go ahead.
Where are we headed with that?
Hell. Headed for hell.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
you
the
agree, huh?
culture people want y'all censored and in
Don't
the
call
attic,
them that. It sounds
hiding.
so hateful. Don't call them that, bigot. I'm just kidding. I'm
I
not
don't
calling
want
you
to
a
get your
bigot. I'm just kidding around.
channel cut down, so I got to say something different.
Well, just say unchristian people or something.
No, there's
fellow
more than-
whites. You can say Jewish people, I think, right? You can say it. Kosher people sounds worse than saying Jewish people to me.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I think they got keywords. Like every time you disavow,
Right.
you already in the attic, like Anne Frank.
Yeah.
The Jewish people got you
I know.
censored, disavowing,
Right.
and you're going to go
Dancing-
down in history as the
dance-
pioneers of the
Dance,
snowflake.
white boy. Like in the old West, they had me dancing.
Yeah.
I know. That's what it was funny. I was watching Nick Fuentes.
Y'all are the pioneers of the future, and if y'all start disavowing everything,
Right.
what's the future going to be like? It's hard to
I
come
know.
back from.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm doing it too because
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
I want to stay on YouTube longer, maybe, hopefully. But it was funny because I was watching Nicholas J. Fuentes talking to Alex Jones yesterday, and Fuentes talked about Kanye West, also known as Ye, who he said, we're done with this apologizing and dancing and not saying it. We're going to say it now. We have to fight back. And those guys, they've already been censored to heck. And so they may as well say it. But I don't think it's time for me to be saying stuff like that. And plus, it's not my topic at this point, really. I say
You don't
pretty
have
much
any
what I want to
seniority.
say.
Kanye has seniority. Like in the
Right.
union,
Yeah.
they go by seniority.
Yep.
And with seniority, we've been here longer. So I'm thinking the union should have been formed. Okay, y'all freed us as slaves, but y'all never gave us our seniority. You know how union jobs, there's a list of people that goes first before the people come in behind them?
Sorry, I'm
So we're
laughing.
going to strike until
I'm
we
sorry,
get
I'm
the
laughing at the
seniority.
chat. I don't mean to be disrespectful. It just comes
Yeah, it's
naturally.
okay.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
know how they feel. They don't want the seniority line fixed, and that's the problem with the black folks. They like, hey, there's people coming in behind us, getting moved up to supervisor. We've been on this planet, on this America. Come on, man. We're about to strike and shut it all down if y'all don't get it right. That's why unions are growing.
And you think that's a good thing,
It's
huh?
against the system. It's against the system of tight people that done got this slave money and don't want to release it, and now they in position and they got snowflakes believing a lie, and it's just a mess. What the?
Nice.
Amazing.
Well, thanks for the call, man.
Y'all take them. Huh?
I said thanks for the call,
You can't
man.
be distracted by the LGBTQ communities. And the Greeks had gays, Egyptians had gays, everybody had gays and trans back then. It's about how much energy you put into that. If you want to put all your energy into wasting that while you're being deceived on the other end,
Fair point.
go for it.
Fair point. Yeah, there's a lot of these things are distractions. Hey, fight over this. Meanwhile, they're doing evil over here. I understand that point. It's fair enough. man.
Philadelphia love was brotherly love. They had that like gay love a long time.
Philadelphia literally means
Brother love, right?
Brotherly love. Yep. Phileo means love.
But they really meant like brotherly, like man on man.
No, what?
In Greece time, that's what that was. And pedophilia meant kid love. Agape meant all
Don't
love.
bring that slander upon America.
I'm telling you what it means. It's
I'm
different
leaving.
type of love.
No, Eros is that type of love. Sicko. Fake love. Gotta go. Thanks for the call, though, man.
All
I
right.
appreciate you. Adios.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Take it easy, Hake.
You too, man. He's a nice guy. Frederick in California. I'm shaking my head. Let's see what I can do here. I am due to get to Art in Ohio. He's been on hold forever. Art in Ohio, man. I'm sorry to rush you, but you're going to have to make it quick. We don't have much time. Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to try to. How you doing, first of all?
Doing well, thank you. How about you?
Okay. First things first. What's Elon Musk's son's name?
I don't know. He has many sons. He has only boys. Alpha. But yeah, he has a son. XY5SD7834I says Hassan, but he's just kidding.
This one was the one that just the guy pulled up on him or whatnot, and basically was harassing him.
Is it Nevada Alexander?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody pulled up on him, harassing him over his father?
Yes. No, thinking that they thought it was Elon Musk, but it was the son in his car.
Nice. As you know, he's his son.
Well, I got some news or some advice that I want to give to Elon Musk's son. And what's that you be saying? You said, "Oh, my fault. This is America." Let me hear you say that, Hake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this is America. It's not America. I thought this is America.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So first things first. Yeah, this is America. Young Elon Musk. You better go get you a weapon or whatnot, man. And they want to follow you, we'll not go ahead and let them follow you. And, you politely roll your window down. And as soon as they bust a move, you bust a move back. And don't be holding your gat. Don't hold your gat, little Elon Musk, sideways. You make sure you do what you do and shoot straight. And don't be around no innocent bystanders, and you give them what they looking for. If it's 5 people in the truck or somebody following you, whatnot, and they want to harm you, one of them little beta liberals, you go ahead and bust their head or whatnot, but don't be going out here looking for no trouble. And then, little Elon Musk, go ahead and put cameras all on your car so you can make sure that you got all the evidence to prove that you was in the right, because you know these liberals is going to try to hang you or whatnot, make you look like you was the one that, you was the one out here causing problems or whatnot.
Right. Because, of course, we disavow senseless gun violence. We do not condone it, especially not in the People's Republic of California.
Yeah. Well, hold up, Hake. Well, my fault. I thought this was America.
Right.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah. So, first thing first, and I heard what Rick said or whatnot. He said he wanted to get my number and talk to me. Well, Rick, if you got anything that you want to talk about or whatnot, just to keep me and you both safe or whatnot,
right.
Just ask it to Hake on the air, and then I'll respond back or whatnot, because we playing in a dirty game in 2022.
That sounds wise. Just keep it to the show. Let's keep it to the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, if you got any type of logical and sensitive brain, they end up trying to say me and Rick is up here trying to start a civil war and lie on us and have us up in jail for 120 years.
Fair point.
So,
let's keep it out in the open and don't get too personal. I agree, man.
Yeah, we way ahead of the game and whatnot. And then I want to ask my big brother Hake what he thinks. Or whatnot. I want to ask you what's your opinion. Tell me what you think in this situation. Okay, well, I just got information of whatnot watching YouTube saying that one of the Russian commanders is talking about that they want to go ahead and use them big artillery. They got the big boys. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Supersonic
nuclear warheads or something.
Yeah. So I was just thinking last night or whatnot. I feel like, I'm thinking that a lot of this stuff that's going on the border or whatnot is a distraction or whatnot, because if Russia's talking about doing that to Ukraine, then you got to automatically think that the next thing or the first thing that you would do is you're going to go ahead and knock the big person out first. If I'm in a fight, I'm going to start from the biggest to the smallest. I'm going to knock my biggest person that I might have the most problems with out first, and then I'm going to go down from there, from the middle to the smallest or whatnot. So if Russia's talking about doing that, I'm going to speculate they're going to do America first, and then they will handle Ukraine. Or they're going to do Ukraine first, and then they're going to handle America. But it's awfully mighty funny that all this stuff is going on the border, and they ain't saying nothing about it. But let's just speculate, Hake, just follow me. If Russia was to send something over here, supersonic, what do you think would end up happening? All these people over here, whatnot, it's going to be chaos. You ain't going to be able to get to the stores. You ain't going to be able to be on the street because you got so many people, so many foreigners, and plus the Americans. And this is something I just wanted to bring to your attention, and then you got your good people in the chat, and then to the American people. I just want to bring something to them to make them think, because if I'm speculating right, they just doing a lot of that stuff with the border, whatnot. So if anything do happen, them politicians and them rich people that's causing a lot of this stuff, that'll give them enough time so they can go ahead and scramble and get out of Dodge so they can go hide and do whatever. But
maybe. I don't know.
I'll call back. I'll call back tomorrow, and I'll give you my predictions or whatnot. But thank you for your time, Hake, and I'll catch you later.
Sounds good, Art. Appreciate you, man. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas to you, too.
All right. Oops. Keith in Illinois, I accidentally hung up on you. But, man, we are over time, and the rest of the callers, I cannot take you. I got to read a couple of super chats here. Lin Yen Chin on Streamlabs says, hey, stop with this woman logic, quote-unquote, woman logic phrase, as it undermines logic. Logic. Yeah, because women don't have logic, especially not this woman logic, as being just a state of bias, also known as opinion. Logic is not rationale or rationalizing, as intellectuals believe, or it isn't universal. Mouth breathers are so stupid, sorry kids, with their colloquial phrasing. Yeah, I agree. It's nutty woman thinking, rationalizing. It's not logic. Thank you for the correction, Lin Yen Chin. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I'll have to do the archive supers another day, because now it's time for What Child Is This by Phil Hahn and Steve Johnson. Enjoy. Adios, guys. Bye.
Laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping. Angels greet with anthem sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lies he in such mean estate, where ox and ass are feeding? Good Christians fear, for sinners hear, the silent word is pleading. Nail spear shall pierce him through, the cross be borne for me, for you. Hail, hail, the Word made flesh, the babe, the Son of Mary. Gold and myrrh, come peasant king to own him. The King of Kings salvation brings, let loving hearts enthrone him. Raise, raise the song on high, the Virgin sings her lullaby. Joy, joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son of Mary. Raise, raise the song on high, the Virgin sings her lullaby. Joy, joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son of